Hi there, and get ready for this one. It's Lavender Sky Panther with you on Tuesday, November 14th. And I did not plan on doing this reading at all either, just like yesterday. And much like yesterday, this has a very close theme, except coming in even stronger. And where we had more of a sea theme last time, this time it's very earthy. Actually, middle earthy, if you know anything about the Lord of the Rings. So we're going to use a few decks, including that one, and the Sacred Forest Oracle, and the Mystical Shaman or Shaman Oracle, however you like to say it. So here we go. Now, even though this spread has a similar configuration, or the same one as yesterday, with the 5 cards, we're going to read it differently this time. So let me clarify. So the first card pulled, and this is not a pick a card, this is just for everybody. Just if something clicks with you in the whole reading, great. If not, don't worry about it. But anyway, we have Earth Spirit up here for stability. So this first card is, and it's actually number 14 for anybody tracking numbers. That could also be number 5. I always say go look at the Australian blog site. It's a good one. Certainly go look wherever you want, but this is just one I find has nice meanings describing the positive aspects of the numbers. If you just do an internet search, look up I always say it wrong. Joanne Sacred Scribes Angel Numbers, and you'll find some really nice meanings there. Anyway, so this, I decided the top card would be the guiding message, kind of the lead-off message. The overall message is stability, okay, and Earth Spirit stability. I'll go over each card a little in more detail in a bit. Then, instead of being past, present, and future, this is just all support and clarifying cards for this stability. So there will be meanings in this card in and of itself of what stability means, and this is just kind of extra support, backup, and clarification of what that means. Then at the very bottom, I wanted to use this as like the feet. Actually, she's sitting here. At the feet can be interpreted as your understanding, where your feet touch the ground, that you are where your understanding kind of resides. So anyway, I just thought at her feet we'll pull up, yet another clarifying card of what the overall understanding is and grounding us into the whole reading. So if you know anything about tarot cards, and I'm not reading these in a traditional tarot way, it's just however I'm guided. I might make some references if I know a little bit about it, but otherwise I just am interpreting it in a different way. But as you can already sneak peek see, you got sun-intensive energies in here. So whereas the previous reading was Bathing in the Golden Sunshine, I believe was the title, this one is a hard line, like no questions, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's bask in the sun. So no soft, toning it with bathing in the golden sunshine. This is bask in the sun, baby. So take that. And this is just a reinforcing message. It's kind of like yesterday's, but with 3 exclamation points at the end. So it'll be fun to get into. Like I said, I am using this beautiful Lord of the Rings deck. I'll be reading straight out of, instead of a book, it comes with this beautiful like map style, parchment paper style description, companion, descriptions. And then I'll also read actually from the companion book of the mystical, hang on, give me a second. I'll be reading from this one as well, just because the passages in there are really nice. So let's get into it. Oh, and we will have a bonus read in German, and I'll translate it in English, just a short little passage there. Okay, that's where we're headed. So let's get into it. So the first card I drew from the Sacred Forest Oracle deck, I was connecting in, and as I was shuffling, of just what we needed to hear today, all of us, you and me included. And so the first card up, I liked it, was stability, especially since my intention while shuffling was, what's the overall message for us today? Even if I just had one card, this would be it, right? So that's good news, very good news. It's stability. This fairy here is, we've got Earth Spirit, so she's personifying the Earth Spirit. So she's gently sitting on the earth, but she has the water nearby, and obviously a tree behind her, and light sources. So we've got golden light falling on her shoulders, caressing her. Her face is turned to the light. That's important because I was guided to, once I saw the sun pop up in the cards, I felt strongly drawn to go get some sunflowers and put this girasol or girasol crystal, which literally means turn to the sun. And as I've mentioned in other readings, as I'm sure many of you know, the sunflower tracks with the sun. So its face does face the sun. Over the course of a day, you'll have the sunflowers facing one way, and then they start moving and tracking with the sun. It's really quite beautiful. I was blessed enough to be in a field of giant sunflowers once in Europe, and spent much of the day there and could be in and among them as they were tracking. It was amazing. So anyway, this just reminds me of it. She's facing the sun to the point where her face is even more white, like, this girasol crystal. And, we've got the golden petals of the sunflower, just reminding this is all very intense, beautiful sun energy. Then we have other little light sources. It's almost like she's just creating this magic, because she is so filled with the light that she can also wield it and send it out. And then she's got these beautiful swans at her feet. So, and again, they're also bathed in the light. And the whole point of this is that she's grounded, even to the point where she's got all the love in the world at her feet. And it's not just one swan, it's two, completing that picture. So that's a source of strength. So even though she's earth spirit, she can also draw off the strength of love wherever it is, in the water, on the land, whatever you name it. So we have stability. She's rock solid, whether she's sitting on the rock, grass, earth, feet in the water, out of the water, does not matter. She knows who she is. She's very much at peace and in balance with all of life around her. And of course, you're that way when you feel stable, right? She's at the base of the tree with its roots anchored in and grounded in. So she's very grounded. So this, I just want to say, is this feeling that if you're not already capturing it and embodying it, and I guess you might not be if you're listening to some readings, but maybe you are. So if you're not feeling quite content as she is, because she just has a knowing she's solid and grounded, know that that's coming then very soon, because that's the overall feeling of this message. And you can get there right now if you really want to. You have the free will to get there, and it just requires closing your eyes wherever you are. You could be in the middle of a office cubicle. You could be out in nature sitting on the grass. Doesn't matter. You can be anywhere if you know how to just close your eyes and transport yourself into this scene. You may just close your eyes, really look at this card, and you can change up her actual physical appearance if it helps you, whether you're male or female. And just as you're sitting there, close your eyes. I'm doing it right now. And just feel into the feeling that's being conveyed in this card, depicted in this card. Imagine your favorite place in the world, and you're sitting there. Hear the sounds. Are you by the sea? Do you hear seagulls? Do you hear the waves crashing on the shore? Or are you, like on the top of a Mount Everest, and it's cold and the wind is whipping? But even so, no matter where you're imagining yourself being grounded, feel that sun on your face. Connect in with the time that you remember, looking up and feeling the sun, even if you're in a winter setting right now. Excuse me. Up in the higher or lower latitudes, and there's no sun shining right now, just imagine a day and a time where it was, and just feel into it. Okay, I've spent enough time on that one, but anyway, stability, okay, and golden light. Now we're going to move down. So I was just asking for a little bit more clarification on this, and all three of these are going to serve as extra, kind of clarifiers. So we've got 10, and we've got 10 rings here. If you know the story of the Lord of the Rings, it was 9 rings given out to, the rulers of quote unquote men. And then we had the 1 ring to rule them all, right? The more deceptive and trickery ring. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it's a spoiler alert. Just, if you haven't read or seen the movies, I am going to talk about it. But anyway, it's the opening scene. If you watch the movies, the 1 ring to rule them all. And all of these people were tricked and deceived. Okay. Anyway, I do, like I always say, please read the books. Don't just watch the movie. There's such a level of richness in the books that they can't even touch in the movies. And the movies focus all on war and battle and gore, and that's not at all. It doesn't even appear in the books until little parts here and there toward the end of the second book and maybe into the third. So I highly recommend just reading the books. But anyway, and there's more character development. So we're going to get into it, and I'm going to read from the little, parchment thing over here, description about these cards. But this is Aowen for anyone that knows the stories of Rohan, and this is Faramir of Gondor. So anyway, these two characters, if you read the books, you'll just see so much more in-depth character development that they couldn't possibly even touch on in the movies for time's sake. But anyway, here we go. So the little support cards for stability, oh my goodness, you could not ask for any better. These two end up becoming united and unite two kingdoms, Rohan and Gondor. Both very compassionate, good intending individuals, both with heart and with wonderful spirit and kindness. So anyway, they end up, joining forces, teaming up, so to speak. And so you're getting two that embody just the highest of character, love and compassion and strength and power, together with all of the rings of the story. So this is just like, you want stability, you want a clarification on it, you can't do any better than this, especially when you look at the sun, right? Even from a traditional tarot card point of view, some say it's the happiest card in the deck. You've got the number 19 up here, which can be also a 10 or a 1 or a 0, depending on however you want to look at that as well. All right, so then after getting the clarifying on this, and I'm going to come back up here, then we're going to move down to, the understanding, which is, again, is the echo of the sun. So anyway, let me read from the book. I'm sorry, from the companion map this time, parchment. I'm just going to go ahead and read straight up, because you've got the sun, but then we've got rings and rings. So I'll read the sun first, and then I'll read the 10 of rings and the Knight of rings. And you'll just see there's some, beautiful messages in here. So actually, I'm going to bring the camera. I hope nobody's getting seasick up here. Let's read the sun first. So sorry about that. The sun is Eowyn, the character. So the White Lady of Rohan is a dazzling free spirit, an inspiring warrior who touches the heart of everyone she meets, even if she sometimes touches it with her sword. As the sun, Eowyn shares lessons of abundance. And upright, which is the position I drew, you are due for welcome reprieve, and the shield maiden is here to raise her arm, fending off the blows of your enemies. Or she might be inviting you to use your strength to help someone in need. Channel Eowyn by being fearless and vibrant, facing down anyone who tries to diminish your great deeds. Okay, so that's the spirit of Eowyn. She seems pretty haggard there. She's been through a lot, but don't be fooled. She's fierce, and she has all the power of the sun. I would say at her side, but, it's just who she is, right? Okay, so that's pretty clear. Major abundance right there, right in the center underneath stability. And then we get to 10 rings. How many rings do you want to show abundance, right? You've got 10 of them. So let's go over here. And again, we have it upright, so I'm not going to read reversed. The 10 of rings finds you sitting on more wealth than a dragon. This card represents prosperity, material gains, and, sorry, I'm trying to read through the viewfinder, and sometimes it gets weird, and stability earned through hard work and wisdom. With this arrival of riches, you may want to consider how you can use your resources to help others. So again, we're talking about mega abundance. If we're talking about more wealth than a dragon, I don't even think that's possible. And again, we've got the word stability and also helping others, like we had with the sun or the Eowyn card, okay? So now we'll go to, sorry, I'm just looking back. We have Knight of Rings, and let's see what that says, if I can find it over here. Give me a moment. Okay, so Knight of Rings are using Faramir on that card. So upright, which is what I pulled, this knight rides into your reading with a command. Pursue your mark with kindness. Just as Faramir led with a compassionate heart, you are being advised to move through your quest by taking the high road. Be fair, even if others are not, and make choices in line with your personal ethics. Don't compromise who you are for what you want. Now, I do have a strong message here to read The Lord of the Rings, or if you can't read, have somebody read it to you. That's not a judgment, just have somebody read it. And there's actually stuff in Elvish and things, so you might want somebody else to read it too, who might be, if not you, able to read that more fluidly. Or listen it to, I guess they have it available on audio. But whatever the case, I'm saying that because this character, Faramir, they don't give him any, they just give him glimpses in the movies. His character development is really great too. So it's definitely worthwhile to get to know, these characters by reading the books. Okay, so anyway, once again, I'm not going to belabor this because I spent a little too much time probably on the first card, but we've got, stability, the exact word used again. We've got helping others because you are so darn, abundant and rich and wealthy in so many ways, and not just monetary. I mean, I know they talk about the dragon, richer than a dragon, which the dragon is solely focused on the, the 3D materiality part of it. But, I've talked about it before, wealth comes in so many forms. You know it deep down. If a lot of people say, I don't know why I'm saying this, and I don't want to be like, dark about it, but, if somebody's ill and even about to die, you hear them say, right, I would give anything, all my riches, all my wealth, if I could just be healthy again. So, what really is abundance? Abundance is if you're here on this earth and you can, even if you're able to walk, not able to walk, but able to face a window and get the light on you, go outside if you can and just run if you can run as you face the sun. Just be so grateful for that alone, because that is tremendous power in and of that sun itself. And that same sun, and I know I always say it, is that very purest God spark within us. It's one and the same. It's kind of why, if you want to get biblical, we say the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. It's all one and the same. Light connected in with light. And when we get that Trinity and that unity going, there's nothing better. That feeling is everything and worth all the quote unquote material gold in the world, if that were a coin, right? All right, so now we're going to go down to the understanding of all of this. So we have stability. We've got the clarifiers of major abundance and wealth in so many ways. Even love, I didn't mention that. You've got the love here and the love here. And again, it can be romantic love, and if that's what you wish for, I wish for you too, the right one, the more harmonious one. But it could be love for animals, the love of life itself, the love of nature. Same thing here. They have a romantic love, but it came after a long, arduous path of each of them individually. And it came at a time where it was just, everything was desolate and there was really no hope, just that the whole world, Middle Earth, would even survive. And on the heels of that, they were able to connect in love, despite all odds. And it was just so improbable, right? How they could even come together. Anyway, we'll look at here. So I was asking about what's at the foot of all of this. So we understand the overall message of stability. We understand we've got more wealth than anyone could imagine. And now what's at the feet of all of this? What do we anchor into? Not that we need to, because that's a dang powerful message already up here, but what else would there be to like fully align this? Because, 3 is a divine number. I don't want to just stop going vertically at 2. So what are we anchoring down into? What's at the feet of all of this? And we get the Indian cross, and it's number 2. And I'm going to read from the book. And, clearly we see the symbol of the sun, the golden sun right here. And I do want to clarify, it's a golden, loving light sun of the loving, true, loving light God source, not the fake sun, not an imposter sun, not the sun used for darkness that certain other fallen entities look to and call God. Okay, so I want to make it clear it's the loving God. All right. Anyway, we have number 2, and then even below that, because of course, theme abundance. 1 didn't just come out. I was hoping just 1 would come out as a clarifier, but we have a second one, number 6, and it's the blade. And I am going to read these from the book. But when they came out, they didn't want to be side by side. I'm just showing it now for a second. We have the sun again and another sun. It's like, how many suns do you want? Even the number here looks like a golden sun. And this one wanted to come down below vertically. So hold on one second. I got to move these up a bit. Sorry about the camera work. Okay. I'm just going to, sorry about the camera work for real. Okay. So even this one wanted to set below this one, and that's important. You're going to see why when I read it. Okay, so you want to be anchored in gold and golden light and in abundance and in everything good and happy. That's, we've got a straight line up, and we're grounded in. So let's read it, and then I'll wrap this up. Hang on one second. So let me pull this up. So we have number 2 for the Indian cross. Give me a moment here. Okay, I'm going to read this with the book off camera because it gets really weird focus-wise. Okay, we have the Indian cross, the essence. The Indian cross represents the cosmology of the shaman. It depicts the 4 cardinal directions, the upper and lower worlds, and the steps to reach these realms. Sorry, but I'm trying to get the camera. The hole in the center is a gateway to interdimensional travel, the proverbial eye of the needle we can all go through to experience higher states of awareness and wisdom and to break free of linear time. I'm all about that. I love it. The invitation. The Indian cross announces the start to a great journey. It's time to raise your gaze from the mundane, day to day, to that which, until now, has seemed beyond your grasp. Allow new wisdom to guide you and stop trying to make sense of it all before you respond with a resounding yes. Okay, so that's a little bit of the Fool card mixed in. Like, just take that step, take that leap without watching where you're going to land that foot. Okay, all right. Now, let me read the other one and we'll close this up. Okay, now we have the blade. I forgot to mention, look at that. It's got the moon phases, across in front of the sun. Pretty powerful card. You got the sun and the moon, and like this lightning rod almost with the blade, like drawing that sword like that knight would do, and raising it straight up in the air. Or actually, I better say more like Eowyn in this case in the movie. All right, so here we go. Like I said, number 6, and we'll read the essence, and it is, the blade represents sharpness of the mind, body, and spirit. Pointing upward, it summons the power of heaven. When aimed down to the ground, it anchors the power of the heavens on earth. The blade can be a healing rod or weapon. Wield it wisely, and it will transmit power, bestow initiations, cut energetic cords from the past, or sever toxic relationships. Use it with anger, and it will slash, stab, and kill. The invitation. You are invited to draw your blade and use it. It is not auspicious to hesitate, to waste time in idle talk, or to hide from the inevitable. Heaven and earth are aligned to support you in claiming your power, so take decisive action. Overcome your fear of hurting others. Unsheath the blade and use it wisely. All right, well, when they say overcome your fear of hurting others, I just want to clarify. Of course, you don't want to go willfully hurt others. I would say the blade is raised in defending your position, standing up in your power. So I guess maybe in that sense, that's the extreme sense. Like, obviously, if someone's going to attack you and threaten to snuff out your life, to kill you, then heck yes, you raise that blade and you fight to the death if you must, because at that point, you are fighting in honor of yourself. You're not asking to be killed, and you have every right to defend yourself, even if it means the other person perishes at the end of your blade. That's absolutely in keeping with universal law. You have that right. We're not just here to wander around and let somebody just, kill you without you having a chance to protect and defend yourself. Absolutely not. You're a valuable vessel harboring this spark of life. I'll just, this bright, bright, brightest, purest spark. And that spark came down here for a reason, not just to be idly taken out by somebody of lower energies seeking to harm or kill you, right? So absolutely self-defense. No quote unquote karma comes back in a bad way when you stand up to defend your own life, or if you're protecting innocence. Similarly, if you need to do something to protect others. Okay, I just want to make that clear, because a lot of people think, oh, but no, we shouldn't kill. Well, sometimes, yes, you are very much absolutely in the right, in the godly way to do it. Now, not like in a quote unquote crusader way, just to go to slash and kill others because they don't believe the same as you. That's not the same as all. We're talking self-defense and protection of your own God spark, or that of innocence. In this case, they did mention helping others. That would also be defending others when called. Are you going to, if he's looking back toward her, keeping this strength going? She's got the sun on her shield, and this isn't really in the book, but, they're just representing it this way now. She's got the sun and the shield here represented. He's got the white tree of Gondor depicted in a different way than the one that's depicted on what becomes the king's shield. But anyway, the point is that, he's looking at her. He's not looking away from helping somebody. And once you know his character, if somebody were in need, actually, when you know his character in the movie, he will go into fight to the end to defend an innocent. And that's the character we've got. I'm not into royalty and king and queen stuff, but what is depicted here is the nobility, that noble actions that we all have when we stand in truth and stand in the sun, raise that sword to protect ourselves and others. when it's in a noble and in a way that's aligned with the purest of intentions. All right, well, we got a lot of stability. We got a lot of fierceness and ready to stand strong in who we are and raise this blade and speak our truth with our face, our actual face facing the sun. Okay, that's all I want to say. If you wanted a reading to get you powered up and remind you what an incredible, amazing person you are, soul that you are, timeless soul that you are, and always have been and always will be, this is your reading with the sun at the heart of it, the very center. Congratulations. This is your reading. Own it, be it. You don't see it right now. Keep facing, literally putting your face in the sun and facing the sun until you get here. For those of you who are here or it's coming to your door today or tomorrow, congratulations. I celebrate with you. Okay. All right, that's it for the main reading, and now we will get to a bonus. Now, this one I'm guided to take this book. This is an interesting book if you don't know it already. It's the Mumins, and it's actually a story that came out of Finland, I think originally in the 1945 range. I think they said till 1977. The books came out by Tove Jansson. She's from Finland, and the first books came out, I believe, in Swedish, which apparently is the language of Finland. I'm not too familiar with Finland. My apologies. I don't want to offend anybody who is Finnish. But anyway, I had picked up this book a while back, and it's the German version. And the Mumins are a little family of these little cute little characters. And there's a lot to this. I maybe have a couple of books, but I just flipped to a page, and I'm just going to read a really short little poem. And it actually does relate. I had first picked the bonus, before I even went into the reading. And I thought, oh, how's this going to relate? And now I know why after doing the reading. So I'll show you the picture first. It's just going to be a short little poem passage I'm going to read. But we have a little, Mumin is a lighthouse keeper. Okay, and it looks dreary outside and whatnot. Okay, so let me see if I can read this fluidly this time in German. So, der blasse Mond am Himmel schaut auf das leere Meer. 4 lange Jahre gingen, kein Segel kam daher. So it's the pale moon in the sky, shows off the empty sea. 4 long years passed with no sail coming, there. That's just an easier way to say it. Kind of, no sail coming there. So, very kind of dreary setting. And I'll just read the first line if I can. Das hat der Leuchtturmwärter geschrieben, dachte der Vater. So, in the book, a father was just saying that's how the lighthouse keeper was describing the scene, and that he was clearly in a very dreary, miserable state when he read this poem. So what do we take from this? We just came from the opposite of beautiful, glorious sun and sunflowers and the crystal turning to the sun, all of it, right? And riches galore and helping people because you are so abundant and grounded into straight down into the ground and straight up to the Himmel, which can also be heavens. Anyway, now we're at the kind of opposite, where we're talking about a pale moon showing off an empty sea. After 4 long years, there's no sail in sight, like no glimmer of anything, right? Desolation. So what do I want to say? That's a frame of mind, what are you looking at perspective wise? So if you're not feeling all the radiant abundance I was just talking about in the whole reading, and you're at the opposite end, this message is for you. So if you're at the opposite end, here, this lighthouse keeper, he's embodying the shining light, so that things don't, boats don't hit the rocky shore. And that's an incredible service. And yet all he's seeing is an empty sea, no sail coming there, and being kind of depressed about it. Well, it doesn't matter. There's, I'm sure birds flying around and other things to look at, the sun, the changing, the stars. He can go up and look from that tower, at the light sources. But instead, he's focusing on emptiness and that there's nothing around. But he's not even giving a chance for the other things that are around to capture his attention. So anyway, this is just maybe a little, let's make it lighter. I'm getting a little heavy there. Just a friendly reminder. What are you looking at? Are you looking into the abyss? Or can you just simply turn your head and look upward at the sky and the sun? It's just as easy as that. You know, it's not the glass full, half empty crap. It's just no glass. Let's look to nature. You know, you're looking up at the stars, or you're looking at the shiny things, or you're looking at the dark void around it. Well, both are necessary. You know, at some point or another, we can't appreciate the true abundance if you haven't been in a state of lack. But it really is, what are you focusing on? So, you know, start focusing on the beautiful things, literally focusing your eyes and attention to things that bring joy versus the opposite. Okay. I guess that's it for now. That's pretty clear. That was all heavy, so I'm going to read one more thing. I grabbed a card from the deck from the previous reading, just for the heck of it, to mark as a bookmarker for that Mumins page. Oh, and I do invite you to look more into the Mumins if you want. And just let's sign off on a better note. So, music for manifesting, and we have this really beautiful mermaid sitting on a sliver of moon there with a harp, a golden harp, and she's in fact golden herself. Her scales are not green. Sometimes mermaids are depicted, and it says to manifest rapidly. Think of your desire while you chant, hum, sing, or play music. And I would say manifest is a tricky word for me. I would just say think of your desire while you chant, hum, sing, or play music, or simply just chant, hum, sing, or play music and let your heart's desire come to you. I don't think you even need to really truly focus it. When you're in a state of happiness and creating your own bliss and getting lost in the music, even if you're just, you know, it'd be great too if you're dancing as well, and including the chanting, humming, and singing and playing music and dance as well. That's just a great way to fully embody that literal higher frequency. You know, presuming you're playing something and singing something that you love that is of higher vibration. That's just kind of the express path of bringing good things into your life, and don't worry about what they are exactly. You know, that's another good thing to do. So be like the what do they describe the White Lady of Rohan in our passage over here? She's a dazzling free spirit. So that's what I would just say. Be a dazzling free spirit, and then see what beautiful things come into your life. Okay, everyone. Well, that's it for now. I wish you all tremendous peace and love. Lavender Sky Panther. Bye.